Cooking safely, yes. Right, yeah. That's my final answer. Cooking safely. I'm terrible.
I am a straight donation station in Jupiter.
If you're low on cash, Paul saw him.
Give us a moment, FP. Give us a moment.
Right in the middle. What a birdie.
Go, squeeze.
Can we just please stop saying this a moment ago?
Subtle signs that you're playing with a stick.
A bag? You want me to be intimidated by a fucking bag?
What is up, golf sickos? We're in God's country, Ben.
I think God made that.
We are in
God did.
South Pittsburgh. Is
South Pittsburgh.
South Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
No H.
No H. Ben, we were driving up and Ben just kept talking about no H because Ben's from the real Pittsburgh.
I'm from the real
original
one.
Pittsburgh. We're in Tennessee. That's one of the great things about modern air travel. We could be in the doghouse yesterday doing the stream while Matt Fitzpatrick wins the RBC Heritage in dramatic fashion over Scotty Scheffler. And a few hours later, more like 18 hours later, we are in Tennessee. We're here on an incredible trip. We're with Manors and Gentleman Jack. Very excited for this. We're going to be playing some golf. We're going to play this.
That's right.
Sweetens Cove. This is like the woke pilgrimage to Sweetens Cove. This is it. Before we get into everything, and we've got a big show for you on Dan on Golf presented by Knockaround. We're going to talk about Matt Fitzpatrick. We're going to talk to Matt Fitzpatrick. We already talked to him, but we're going to show you guys the interview. We're going to talk about LIV. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. That's the message from Scott O'Neill.
Oh yeah, chill out, everyone.
Yeah, everyone just relax. Fake news media. There was a lot of fake news media energy going this week. Before we get into all of that, and we have an incredible World Dankings. One of my favorite. We've had some sicko Dankings. We had pre-shot quirks. We had post-shot mannerisms. We have a crazy Dankings for you
real
guys.
sick today, yeah.
Before we get into it, I've been seeing in the comments I get some shit with the way I cross my legs.
Oh really?
Look at the way you cross your legs that way. I cross my legs this way. This is called male pattern back pain. Okay.
Oh, is that what that is?
This is called Ashkenazi lumbar syndrome. Okay, this is 31.
ALS?
This is 31. That's really serious. Ashkenazi lumbar syndrome. This is 31. Okay? You criticize the way I sit. I take pride in my hip mobility. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I worked for a long time to be able to cross my legs like this comfortably, so I'm going to do it for the rest of my life.
I think this is the most comfortable way. And I think, there will be people who identify with this.
I'm going to take the words right out of Lil Wayne's mouth. I'm going to do me, Miss Katie. You do you.
Miss Katie. Who's you referring
Katie
to?
Couric. He was doing an interview.
Oh, right. I remember that interview. He was like flirting with her. It was kind of...
I'm going to do me, Miss Katie.
Okay. Matt Fitzpatrick, proper player. He's really blossomed into like a world-class, well-rounded player. He was kind of a one-trick pony in the beginning with the putting. Then he started driving it really nice. The iron play always lagged, not anymore. And I just got to say from a personal level, obviously Matt's the tour player that I've spent the most time with, the one that I've been closest to. I tell people that we went to Northwestern together. He was only there for like 3 months, so it's kind of hard for him to claim it. But
is that really 3 months? That's how long he was there?
So they were on the quarter system, and so we didn't start school until the end of September, and he had just won the USAM, and he gets there, and it was the coldest winter in Chicago history. I think it's still the coldest winter in Chicago history, like statistically. So there's like snow on the ground October 10th, and he had just won the USAM, so he was into the Masters, he was into the US Open, he was playing, Bay Hill, like he was into all these events. And the snow is on the ground. He's practicing indoors, and also Northwestern is, it's not Arizona State. Like they don't really give a shit that you're an athlete. It's not like you have tutors doing your homework. He was just like, "What am I doing?"
He's
here?
like, "Get me to God's country."
He was like, "Get me to God's country." So he went back home. How many times were we gonna say that today? By the way, "Get me to God's country."
19.
We said it like 10 on the ride over here. He went home for winter break, and he never came back. He said, "I'm turning pro."
Respect.
Not turning pro. He stayed amateur, so he could still play in the Masters, all that stuff. But he just said
the college dropout. And now I was going to ask you this question. Is he the front runner or right next to Rory for player of the year right now in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, hard to beat the Masters champion. But yeah, it's only him and Chris Goddard who have 2 wins each. I was also thinking of the kids who arrived in Evanston that fall. He's definitely made the most money of anyone.
Sure.
No matter what
another
3.6 million yesterday. He's probably up to like 50 million if you combine European Tour and PGA Tour. But what I was going to say was a little more wholesome. Matt won the USAM. He was an incredible amateur player. It always felt like he was fighting an uphill battle in pro golf because of just how small he was and how short he hit the golf ball. Like, he used to hit it 270 in the air if he swung hard. If you watch the 2019 Ryder Cup? No, that doesn't sound right. 2018 Ryder Cup, I think. Whatever the first one he played was.
Is it Whistling Straits?
No, it was before that. It was Hazeltine.
Okay.
They sat him the whole. He only played one of the team sessions. It was the alternate shot with Henrik Stenson. They got blasted. Then he got blasted. Blast is probably not the right word. It feels a little carnal. He got blown out, and then he got blown out by Zach Johnson. He was like a pipsqueak. He was almost like a little bit of like a little brother. The way that he has transformed his career is an incredible testament to how hard he works, to how serious he takes it. He's now the number 3 golfer on the planet, which is crazy to think about. I mean, you look at the world rankings this morning, and I know the world rankings are a little fakakta, but number 1 is Scotty Scheffler, number 2 is Rory McIlroy, number 3 is Matt Fitzpatrick.
And that makes a lot of sense to me.
From Sheffield, England. And the guy has just the hardest worker that there is. He's completely transformed his game. So his last 4 starts really speak for themselves. Solo second at the Players, won Valspar, T18 at the Masters, and then he wins the RBC Heritage. He's now a major winner and a 2-time signature event winner, which I'm kind of starting that. How many signature events?
Yeah.
But even though it's not going to be a thing next year because they're all going to be.
Why start?
But for now, he's a 2-time signature event winner. And I wanted to go through his stats because I think it's kind of the perfect encapsulation of the player that he is now. He gained 3.1 off the tee, 2.7 on approach, 2.6 around the green, even with the great flub of April 2026, which we'll talk to him about, and 3.8 putting. So well-rounded across the board.
That's so solid.
And again, he used to be kind of a one-trick pony, but Mark Blackburn has really transformed his iron play. That's why he does that. You know, he does that little like kind of shimmy that he does. He's trying to get his posture, so he's more rotational, less lateral. He got really lateral with his golf swing when he was doing the stack, and he was trying to hit it far. You know, lateral is good if you want to hit up on it, if you want to hit big kind of sweeping draws. It's harder, though, to have lateral movement in your swing if you're trying to hit these kind of cute little cut 9-irons and pitching wedges to back right pins. He's added that to his game, and it's made all of the difference. We watched it all unfold on the watch-along. It was a wild finish with the great flub of 2026. Scotty was breathing down his neck. Let's roll this watch-along clip.
He's got a chance. Matt Fitzpatrick has won the RBC Heritage for a 2nd time in a playoff.
When he won the U.S. Open, that was the shot that he hit all the time, was that like low, drivey draw. Ooh, nope. It's a very similar shot to the one that Scotty hit. And then this one, does it stop? Does it stop? Does it stop?
Nope.
It does not. It goes into the bunker. All right, Fitz is over his 2nd shot. Walks through it. He likes it. He's walking after it. Kind of exactly what we thought. That's a professional shot right there, just right of the green, but it's not a guaranteed up and down. Not at all. Look at how windy it's getting.
Long.
All right, Scotty Scheffler approaching to 18. Here we go. Wind is whipping more down than off the left, I think. It's going right. It's going right. It's going right.
Oh.
Hits it in a very, very similar shot to Fitzpatrick. I don't think it's a full bumper. Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. Ooh, that's gonna get kicked right pretty good though.
Yeah, watch. It goes back left now.
It's well done from Scotty
perfect line.
Scheffler. It's really well done from Scotty Scheffler, but it stops about 8 inches short. He's going to tell him to finish off. That's classy. Take your time, Scotty. Fits with the cross-handed. It makes me anxious every time. He starts it, takes that kick right. Oh, he didn't hit it solid. He chunked it.
Holy sh!
He chunked it. He fully chunked it after all of that time. Matt Fitzpatrick has chunked it on 18. Here's Matt Fitzpatrick for the win. Just breathed on it. It's a fast putt.
Not enough.
It's missing on the left side. We've got a playoff on our hands.
Oh, man.
We have got a playoff on our hands. Matt Fitzpatrick versus Scotty Scheffler. All right, Fitz is over it. We got it now. Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
It's a one-arm finish, but it's drawing. He didn't like the way that it came through the club, but what a shot. What a shot from Matt Fitzpatrick. That is to about 10 feet. That was a Hideki. That was a first-class Hideki. He did not, I don't think he was trying, he felt like he pulled it. Did you see he came out with one hand? Here is Scotty Scheffler. Can he answer that? Oh,
one-handed.
He's got the mega one-handed too. He's got, this is going right. This is going well right. Ooh, that was a mishit from Scotty Scheffler. He caught that thing fat. Scotty gonna knock it dead. He's a class act. Let's see what he does here. It lands in the perfect spot. It's exactly what I thought was gonna happen. All right, I think this is left edge. He's got it lined up about left edge. Matt Fitzpatrick for the win. He's got it going left edge. Is it gonna break?
Left.
Is it gonna break? Yes, it does in the left side. Matt Fitzpatrick wins the RBC Heritage, and he silences the crowd, and the USA chants have turned into, what a birdie. The one-arm finish for Fitzy. A beautiful worm cam to finish. Oh, yeah. Hey. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Is this a library? Is this a library? Matt Fitzpatrick, what a day at the RBC Heritage. Something about Matt Fitzpatrick and the 18th hole in a playoff. He birdies it
for just a massive, massive, massive victory. Get the golf bag. Matt Fitzpatrick is your winner of the 2026 RBC Heritage. It was a great day. It was a great afternoon of golf.
What a fun finish.
It was a fun finish. There was everything in it. You know, Fitz was he was bogey free until he got to 18, and then the great flub of April 2026, never to be forgotten, but kind of to be forgotten because he birdied the next hole
Pretty quickly, yeah.
And you know, I asked him about the one-arm finish. He explained it in a very interesting way that I think people are gonna sort of dig. This is our first winter interview with Matt Fitzpatrick. So he won about a month ago at the Valspar, but I had just woken up in Japan.
That's right.
I was still crying about Tiger Woods when that happened, so wasn't able to do the interview. But it was really nice to be able to catch up with Matt after the win. Here's Matt Fitzpatrick.
Is that a sound check?
No, that's just me clapping. Number 3 golfer in the world? How does that feel?
I didn't know that, but yeah, that's nice. Yeah, really nice. Obviously, feels great to get the reward there for the win.
So I heard you say on the broadcast that Dan gave you the Harry Diamond, which I love that Harry Diamond has his own like caddy signature. Are we ready to call that the Harry Diamond now?
I don't know. Yeah, I watched Rory's documentary actually before the Masters, and he obviously made that point, so I thought it was quite good. But yeah, Dan did a great job out there, and it was I was already on that wavelength though, but I guess he just wanted to make sure.
So can we put some love on golf courses with trees overhanging them? I know you love this golf course. We've seen so many courses that they cut down all the trees. From your perspective, a week like this it's a nice change, right?
Yeah, I'm biased. I'm the wrong person to ask, Dan. But yeah, golf courses like this are fantastic, and pretty much any Pete Dye golf course is fantastic. But obviously, the land that he's had here to do it as is, and obviously Davis Love sort of doing his work as well has been brilliant. But yeah, just being able to move the ball around the trees and you know, have to hit good shots. So
trees are good.
Trees are good. I like trees. Yeah.
I like trees too. So walk me through 18. You know, we were calling it on the stream. We were calling it the Great Duff of April 2026. And then you bounced back. It looked like you kind of Hideki'd it. Like, did you not like the strike? Well, talk me through both those shots.
The chip was the first one that I've had into grain all week. I mean, literally every time I've had a chip, it's come out exactly as anticipated. I could hit it high, I could hit it low. I knew I'd hit this one a little higher, and for some reason, just a little bit grainy, and you know, it just didn't work out. But yeah, then the one in the playoff, yeah, I mean, just flushed it. I knew I'd hit it as well as I possibly could, and my right hand doesn't sit fully on the grip anyway because I overlap. So I think realistically, I've probably only got like 2 fingers and a thumb on the golf grip. So sometimes when I get a bit steep, it gets stuck in the turf, and my right hand comes off because it just can't grip on. So I knew I pulled it a little bit, but it was obviously nice that it didn't go too far left.
So it wasn't a Hideki. You actually liked it, but you gotta develop like maybe it's like a one-arm twirl or something, so we know that it's not offline.
Somehow like twirl. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah.
My last question for you. You know, there was the USA chants going. I know you're a soccer fan. You know, you kind of pointed to your ear. You hear soccer players say they like going on the road. It kind of lights something up with them. We saw you kind of have fun with this at the Ryder Cup. Do you almost a little bit enjoy it?
No, I do. I love it. I do. I love it. It's great. You know, I'm all for supporting, you know, whoever it is. And I know obviously, you know, Americans are very patriotic, which I think is awesome. And, but to obviously, you know, sometimes it goes your way. It didn't go my way at the Players, and this week it did go my way. So it was nice to, you know, nice to get one there.
All right, I lied. 2 really fast ones at the end. Arsenal or City? Who's going to win it?
City.
And is next week the real Masters with the Fitzpatrick boys?
Well, that's I was saying to Alex on FaceTime about 10 minutes ago. I'm just peaking for that. You know, just finding form for that. So
yeah, you know, Tiger will like to peak for the Masters. You like to peak for the Zurich Classic.
Exactly. What more can I say?
Good stuff, buddy. I'm really happy. Like on a personal level, I'm really, really happy for you. I mean, I know how hard you work at this. To get to number 3 in the world behind Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy is one hell of an accomplishment. I know that you like to go right to the next. Take a second. Like you're the number 3 golfer in the world.
I appreciate that. Thank you, pal.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Really, really good stuff
That
out of
was
Fitzy. It was sweet. That was a nice little sweet kind of wholesome moment there at the end.
That was really nice.
Yeah, I had to tell him that I'm proud of him.
It's nice that you like separate it and you're like, hey, on a personal level, like let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's remember like sitting in those rooms in Chicago.
Well, I remember him sitting in Psych 101 being like, what the fuck is going on here? This is a lot harder than I signed up. He was not doing Psych 110, actually, Dr. Eli Finkel. Probably the best professor I ever had. He was like the expert on modern dating. So
Interesting.
He had written books like about dating and stuff. And he was a really quirky guy. He had this long beard and he had a big top hat. And every girl in the class was like madly in love with him. I was like, so this guy's just figured out the hack to make girls love him.
He saw Hank Moody from California.
He at the end, it's actually really funny. It just popped in my head. At the end of the class, he made like a slideshow going through everything that we had learned. And he's like, in this episode we did this, in this episode we did this. And then he shows a picture of a crying baby. And he said, this is when my daughter learned that she was Jewish.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny. I can laugh about things.
Yeah, you can.
A couple other, you can. A couple other finishes to highlight from RBC. Sweet Siwoo, solo third. He's up to 10th in the FedEx Cup standings. 8 finishes of T14 or better in his last 12 starts going back to last year. I know Siwoo's been kind of perusing Zillow for a house on the west side of Los Angeles. You can afford it now, my friend. You can definitely afford it. T4 for Colin Morikawa, again, with the half swing. Swinging like Mark Rappaport at 7:30 a.m. at Broughton Country Club. More on that in a second and later in the show. T4 for our guide to Augusta National, Mr. Harris English. Harris in the low country, in the low placket shirt. Did I use that right?
Yes.
You explained to me what a placket was. That was art.
It was art.
It was art. Good stuff from Harris.
Art will make it sports.
Ludwig Oberg tied for 4th. That's 4 top 5 finishes in his last 5 starts, trending really nicely. Bud Cauley finished solo 7th. Big points. Wow. Big points for Bud Cauley. Ricky Fowler, T8. After missing the Masters, and he had missed back-to-back cuts after a really strong start to the season, so a big bounce back for Ricky Fowler. Gary Woodland, hooped one on 18 from like 205. It was the draw cut. We love a draw cut on this show. For a T8 finish, Rick had him, I think it was plus 310 to finish top 20, so that helped us a lot. Keegan Bradley, tied for 12th. Signs of life. He was T21 at the Masters,
Still
too.
balling.
He talked about how, there was a bit of an emotional hangover after the Ryder Cup. He said he's going to have to deal with it for the rest of his life. He said he was still processing the loss. He's starting to turn the page.
When they finally do pick a captain, I bet he wins.
Because he's just like, it's not me anymore?
Yeah, he's like,
I'm over it. Patrick Rogers, greatest player on the planet, tied for 16th, also coming off back-to-back miscuts. No idea how that's possible. When Patrick Rogers goes on the Scotty Scheffler run that is coming, you're going to thank us on the show for knowing ball.
Back. There's a lot of clips we'll get to run back.
There's a lot of clips. From the not-so-fun corner, Tony Finau got a sponsor invite, finished dead last. That's probably not the best feeling in the world. Justin Thomas tied for 77th. Not a great week for JT in his title defense. So was Jake Knapp. But this course kind of cramped his style. He likes to send bombs. This was like cute little cuts.
Yeah. Not
Jake's scores. And then Max Homa tied for 69th. We're going to talk about Max a little later in the show. We're going to hop into a segment we call the Knockaround, presented by Knockaround. Ben, we're in the sun right now.
We
are. Sun's on us. What are we? How are we protecting ourselves from the sun?
I have my favorite sunglasses, the Knockaround Panoramas.
The Porsche Panamera, Knockaround Panoramas.
Panorama.
But same idea.
Yeah.
I've got mine on. I got the tortoiseshell on. Ben's got the black ones. You're very monochromatic today.
Thank you.
With the all black.
It's getting hot.
The best sunglasses for the right price. The best sunglasses for the right price. And a third time, the best sunglasses for the right price. Stop spending stupid money on sunglasses. You travel with them. You bring them with you on the golf course. You don't want to feel like you have precious jewelry. And the best part is, you don't even have to sacrifice quality. These are the same, if not better quality than sunglasses that are 3-5 times the price. And we have a promo code for you guys. So if I were you, which I'm not, but if I was, I would go to knockaround.com/golf. I would look at all of the golf sunglasses on offer. I would build myself a nice cart, 3, 4, 5 sunglasses for the same price as the other guys. I'd use the promo code DanOnGolf20. I'd get 20% off, and I would just be a thrilled man when that package arrives with not one sunglasses for that money, but like 4 or 5 that are the same quality. All right. Dylan Benante won on the Corn Ferry Tour in Tulum.
With authority.
With authority, that's right. He was 19 under for the week. He shot -9 in the final round. Amazing effort. Incredible trophy.
Wow.
Do you see the trophy?
Yeah, I think we saw this last year, and I marveled at it, too.
It's still sick.
Still sick.
It looks like, what's the word when they have...
I know what you're thinking of. Taxidermy.
Taxidermy. It looks like taxidermy, but I don't think that they murdered a local jaguar for it. I think it's just a piece of art. Blades Brown finished solo second. So he had another 54-hole lead. The kid is amazing. He's still 18 years old. That's his third top 3 finish in his last 5 starts. 2 on the Corn Ferry Tour, 1 on the PGA Tour. He's up to 11th in the points. in the Corn Ferry Tour. Top 20 get cards, but I think I'm not worried about it at all. Like,
Ready to see him.
He's going to win soon. He's playing this week with Luke Clanton in the Zurich Classic.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be
These
fun.
two young babes.
Two young babes.
Little babies.
On the LPGA Tour, Hannah Green is on fire right now. So she has won 4 of her last 5 starts. These are her last 5 starts. Win, miscut, win, win, win. Go big or go home.
Wow. And
she fucking loves this tournament, the JM Eagle Championship in LA at El Cab, which we've played. Have you
I
played
have not.
You haven't played El Cab?
Not
I've
yet.
played El Cab a bunch. Shout out to Andy Wallach. She won at Wilshire this tournament in 2023 and 2024. It moved to El Cab because Wilshire's being redone again. It's the second redo in 10 years. And she wins at El Cab in 2026. It also has the highest purse. They bumped up the purse to 4.5 million. So the highest purse outside of the majors and outside of the CME, which is the year end. It's nice. LA's box office. Hey,
And
Nelly.
$1 million to it mid tournament. That was pretty box
It's
office.
kind of a flex. Hey, Nelly, LA's box office. Maybe,
Come on.
Maybe come play next year. Asterisk Tally, she finished tied for 13th, 17 years old. The kids are all right.
Young go hard.
They have a major coming up this week. Chevron Championship at Memorial Park in Houston. Bryson got a plaque for his drive on the first hole of LIV Golf last year. He made birdie on the hole. He finished second in the tournament. We got to have a conversation about plaques. We can't just be handing out plaques like that. Like, plaques have to be saved for truly iconic moments. I'm talking Matt Fitzpatrick on the 18th hole at Brookline. Maybe Rory McIlroy from the trees. Left.
Bryson Pinehurst bunker.
Bryson Pinehurst bunker, totally plaque-worthy. Bryson hitting a big tee shot at 8,000 feet in the first hole of a tournament that he didn't win, where he didn't eagle the hole. I mean, what are we doing?
He's hit longer drives onto greens. multiple
It's just like,
times in his career.
what are, you know, that conversation was like, the live. I think of them being like, hey, let's give Bryson a plaque. Well, he didn't win the tournament. Give him the plaque. Well, he only made. Give him the damn plaque.
We need a plaque
already.
moment.
The plaques have gone too far. The plaques have gone too far if that's the standard.
The next plaque that gets made, it better have found the cup from where that plaque is.
Or you win a major championship or something,
Sure.
you know, or just win the tournament or make an eagle. You know, we can't be handing out plaques for a drivable par 4.
The plaque has to be like a hole out, and it has to be consequential. You need both ingredients.
It's just not the right
just
plaque.
A sick drive, dude.
Not just
Get the metal worker out there.
Yeah, nice drive.
DeChambeau.
On this spot in 2024, Dan hit a 6-iron to 18 feet. Give him a plaque. I mean, what are we talking about here? Gary Woodland hit a great shot. I love Gary Woodland. We're not getting him. He's not getting a plaque. I mean,
That was the best shot of the tournament.
He holed out. That's awesome. He didn't win the tournament. You know what I'm saying? So
Sorry,
let's just cool on the plaques a little bit. Speaking of Bryson, he withdrew from LIV this week because of a wrist injury, but also because he hated the golf course. He just hated the golf course. The statement: I experienced some discomfort in my wrist during yesterday's round, and I've decided to withdraw from the final round of LIV Golf Mexico City to prevent further injury. So he played 3 rounds, pulled out after the 4th. Not how I wanted this week to go, but wishing the Crushers a strong finish. I'm going to take a few days to get evaluated and hope to be ready for LIV Golf Virginia. I bet you the LIV people were like looking at that statement, be like, please mention LIV Virginia. Please
talk
we
about
got
Virginia.
it. We got LIV Virginia in there. We're safe. It just never stops with Bryson, the content. There was a clip early in the week of him chipping from hardpan. He called the rules official over. He's like, you guys got to put that white circle around here because this is hardpan.
Which fair.
Yeah, it was
not kind of weird that it
was
wasn't.
not good playing conditions in that little corner of the golf course. And then he missed a 3-footer that looked like it's just a straight pull to me. I watched the slow-mo. I tried to see if it hit something. Didn't look like it hit anything, and he gave it this look of, you know, Bryson has one of the best flabbergasted looks. Scotty has a good one too, where Scotty's like, how?
His whole face drops, yeah.
But Bryson just looks at, and then he realizes, okay, I can't go off here. I could just withdraw after the week. But yeah, it never stops with Bryson. Justin Thomas, this was interesting. So Justin Thomas, they were asking about the schedule, and the schedule is crazy. Alex and I were talking about what our schedule is coming up, and Alex thought that we had another week off after this before Miami, because he was just like, there's no way they come this hard and fast.
I kind of did too,
So
yeah.
they come hard and fast. So if you count the Masters or the majors and signature events as, you know, we'll call those big events, which is an amazing title that I just came up with, big events. There's 5 in a span of 6 weeks. So it goes Masters, RBC, Zurich Classic, Cadillac Championship, which is Trump, it's going to be box office. Then it's Truist, back at Quail Hollow, and then it's the PGA Championship at Aronimink. And here's Justin Thomas giving his thoughts.
It's tough. I mean, it's not how I would prefer to draw it up, I would say. I think the season's important. It obviously it's very important for your FedEx Cup standing, how your season's going, getting into events, not in events, whatever it may be. But, majors are kind of what guys will generally build their schedule off of in a sense of what they need to do to prepare for a major, but it's also how kind of your legacy in the game is remembered for a lot of people. So, going 2 very difficult courses into a major, I don't think is probably how it would be drawn up for a lot of guys.
Yeah, so the schedule is definitely tough, but they're playing for $1 gazillion. It probably won't be that way moving forward as they get to renew the schedule. But you know what the great thing is about the PGA Tour? You could also always just not play.
No, yeah, it's your choice.
You could just not play.
Independent contractors.
There used to be, I think the first year of the signature events, maybe the first 2 years, there was a rule that you had to play. And if you didn't remember, Rory didn't play 2 of them and you got fined. It's not a rule anymore, so you could always just not play. We'll finish the knockaround with Smiley Kaufman was offered a spot to play in the Zurich Classic by Ryan Gerard, who's a great player, top 50 player in the world. And he turned it down. I'll say this. I understand why he turned it down. He doesn't want his game. He's not been working on his game. I would accept and shoot $1 gazillion.
I agree. I think I'm happy he turned it down only because Sudarshan Yelamaraju is Gerard's actual partner.
I mean, I love Sudarshan.
Come on, let's let Sudarshan get in there.
I love Sudarshan as much as the next guy.
So maybe he was like, I'm not going
to
take this guy's
Smiley
first
tee
Zurich
it
away
up.
from
No
him.
one, we're not expecting Scotty Scheffler out there. Go out there, have fun, play in a PGA Tour event.
Yeah, I don't think we're expecting them to win.
I just thought, it'd be fun to have watched him.
Come on, Smiley, do it.
I wish that he was playing. All right, we are going to hop into, because we are here at this incredible Manors event, we're going to hop into Mind Your Manors. Max Homa, mind your manners. And he did. He did mind his manners immediately after the round. But I'm gonna give you a metaphor here. Max Homa blew up a whoopee cushion, and he put it on a chair, and then he sat on it himself.
He sat on
the whoopee cushion himself. So Max Homa was asked in his pre-tournament press conference about Sergio Garcia, who made a bit of a fool out of himself at the Masters. I think it's fair to say, breaking a golf club, just kind of acting a fool out there. Here was Max Homa talking about Sergio's behavior.
I don't like when people break clubs. I don't like when people beat up the golf course, because we deal with it, and I think the breaking clubs makes us look very, very spoiled. I try my absolute best not to do it, and when it does happen, as far as slamming a tee box, I'm very upset with myself, because we're very lucky to play this game where we do, and I think it is a bad look.
So then the cameras are on. That's the problem when you do this before you play a tournament. The cameras are on you. Max did not have a very good week, as we said, tied for 69th. And then he let it rip on Sunday. Here's Max Homa.
Go a little bit diagonal here and just get it back in play. Yeah, you chunked that. I don't think that's all the way out.
I love the announcer's like, yeah, that's not good. I will say a couple things. I don't think the club broke.
No.
So he didn't break the club, but that was an aggressive one.
He knew he had a soft surface. He was like, oh, this is a good place to do
this. But that was not a club toss. That was a fling. And we're all thinking the same thing. You can't do that. You can't call out Sergio and then do it yourself. So you got to mind your manners. But he did. He apologized. He apologized right after. And it wasn't a ChatGPT apology like Sergio's. It wasn't like his manager who said, hey, it's been a couple days, we need to apologize. You know, when Max is on the ones and twos on social media, it's actually Max. And so he apologized. I'm going to read the apology. I mentioned in this interview that we as pros should be held to a high standard and we should be kept accountable. I'm thankful so many people have held me accountable on this bad look, not proud, looking forward to bettering myself. You got to mind your manners, and he did. Look, we all slip up. We like to be held accountable, as Max said. We can improve. No one is perfect. But you can't. All that's, two things can be true at once. I like the apology. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that in the first place, and you certainly can't be doing it when you're the one who blew up the whoopee cushion to begin with. You can't then sit on your own whoopee cushion.
I love that metaphor.
You like that? I was thinking about that last night. I was like, what's a good metaphor for this? A whoopee cushion.
Wow.
When's the last time you had a whoopee cushion in your possession?
In my possession?
Yeah. Do you think it's still
30 years? I don't know.
Do you think it's still funny?
Yeah, I think it holds up.
I think it'd be really funny now because it's been so long.
It has been.
All right, let's hop into some LIV talk. We have a discount code for you on Manors. I almost forgot. All this incredible Manors stuff. We're here with Manors and Gentleman Jack. If you use the promo code DOG15, you get 15% off your order, which is a significant
That's healthy.
order. It's time to load up for golf season. Golf season's right around the corner. It's here. I mean, it's beautiful here in the north, in the Midwest. It's starting to warm up. So get yourself a nice Manors cart.
You got the new collab we're in?
Yeah, use DOG15 and be one of the boys. Support the cause. All right, let's hop into the LIV talk. So when we were on the show on Wednesday, it seemed like the sky was falling. There were scoops coming out. Ryan French first. I was talking to Alex a lot about this. This made me really happy that I'm not in the scoop game anymore. The scoop game is a scary game. And I'm not sure that this is how it went, but the way that it seemed to go for me, from my perspective, again, I'm not in the scoop game. And I didn't say on the show, I know this is over. I just said, this is what I'm hearing. I said this could end at the end of this year. This could end, in the future. The reasons that I laid out for why it would come to an end are still the reasons. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
The way it kind of seemed to me like it played out is Ryan French had this scoop, and then you have all these serious golf journalists being like, we got to get on this, and they make their phone calls, and they all kind of pile on Ryan's scoop, and then LIV, pushes back. So Rahm won the LIV event in LIV Mexico. The last 4 events have been won. Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Jon Rahm. So the tour, as I said, is just heavily reliant on those 2 guys, both of whose contracts I believe are up at the end of the year. I saw this morning that Brody Miller went down there from The Athletic. So they spend $30 million per event, which is almost like Ryder Cup level. It's more than a normal PGA Tour event. And that's before they get their, the Fishers, the Sophie Tuckers. They have these big musical acts. So they're spending, $35, $40 million on an event. But they punched back this week. So Scott O'Neill, he said they're funded through the end of this year. And then he said they're fighting like hell to prove the business and business model to move forward. Then that clip was deleted and reposted without that clip in it, because that was probably not what he was supposed to say. He kept saying, this is private equity. This is private equity. I'm sure it is, but what we don't think of as private equity are sports leagues. I know the PGA Tour has private equity investment. It's been around for...
Or sovereign wealth funds, not a private equity.
A gazillion years. And I'm not really sure what the pitch to players is. It's like, hey, we're a startup. We're trying to prove we're a real business. If I'm an up-and-coming player or an established pro, what sounds better? A startup that you're trying to help grow, or playing against the best players in the world on an iconic tour that's also a real business? Like, the only reason you go is guaranteed money, which is what has them in this financial trouble in the first place. I don't see a way out of this. I really don't. It might, they might, figure out something where they roll it up into, part of the DP World Tour or part of the Asian Tour. They might pivot. It might not be that LIV Golf just goes away. They did announce that they're going back to Mexico City in 2027. And this is something that Alan has said on our show. They have commitments to a lot of different areas past just 2026, including Australia. Now, that doesn't mean that creative, high-powered lawyers can't get out of that. And just because LIV exists doesn't mean it exists in its current form, right? They didn't say, LIV will be at Mexico City and it's going to have a $25 million purse with Bryson DeChambeau and Jon Rahm next year. It just means there's going to be a LIV event in Mexico City.
Could be a public-facing event.
Right, and then Scott O'Neill was asked on the broadcast what his pitch to players are. He said, well, most of them call us because they want the guaranteed money. The first thing I say when I'm talking to any player is LIV Golf is not for everybody. If you want to spend your time in the US, this is not the league for you. If you want your home time and you don't like leaving and you like practicing at the same course and you like to manage your own schedule, this is not for you. Not the greatest. If you're
Isn't it starting to sound like an alternative to the jail that is the PGA Tour?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't hear the PGA Tour telling players, this is not for you.
It's not for you.
If you want to be one of the best golfers in the world, this is for you.
This is for you.
But let me be fair. Let me also read the next paragraph of his pitch. But what I'll tell you, if you want to grow the game of golf around the world, this is for you. If you love to explore new cultures and new courses and have new experiences, this is for you. If you feel like golf could be lonely sometimes, this is the toughest, most lonely sport in the world. Yeah, that's what makes it great. Boy, there's nothing like a team after a bad round to pick you up. My read is what I said earlier. If you want to try and help a startup business grow and travel around, this is for you. And players like to talk about growing the game, but if you're a serious professional, you want to win golf tournaments on the greatest tour in the world. I think you do the growing of the game with your play. And on the biggest stages, on the best tour, in the biggest moments. I feel like Bryson's the only player who actually cares about growing the game.
Yeah.
If you want to try and play an individual sport and make it a team sport, this is for that pitch is just if you want to do something different, that's not how this league is going to succeed. When you're spending the money that they're spending, you have to try to overtake the PGA Tour as the premier golf league in the world, and I just don't see they're already pivoting away from that.
There's been one actual attempt to do that in the players that they brought over, but nothing else that they've done has offered a...
Yeah, I don't want to say traveling circus, but the way he talks about it, if you want to go see new cultures and try to grow the game, it's like a bit of a traveling show.
Well, if you can't dictate your own schedule, when if I can dictate my own schedule, I'll choose when I'm going to go see cultures.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to be up to my
Rory McIlroy is going to play the India this year. He's going to play the Australian Open. It's not like there aren't tournaments in these parts of the world. They're not LIV events and they're not as big. But
I don't buy this narrative right now. You got to get behind a startup business. It's not a real business. It never was a real business.
But also, if you're a professional golfer and you want to be a professional golfer, what the fuck do you care about a startup business?
Yeah.
You want to go play.
That's not the pitch.
That's not the pitch.
The pitch is guaranteed money, and don't have a lot of it to give out anymore. It's sounding like.
Well, look at the players they've signed. They haven't landed a big star in since 2023. So.
And this whole I wouldn't even call what their rebuttal is like a pushback or like a response, because it was more transparent than them saying nothing when they have to come out and say, well, we want to state that we're funded through 2026.
Through 2026.
That's all that means.
They didn't say through 2030. They said we're funded through the end of this year.
How are you going to change the game in a year?
Yeah.
You got
also,
1 year left?
They've already had their Australia event. They already had their South Africa event. So those are their two biggest events. There's hardly any crowd in Mexico City. It was quiet.
This public relations outfit over there has never been like the sharpest tools in the shed. I think they're just flailing now again with all this stuff because the rumors probably are true that
the pitch being like, if you want to come do something different, go. If you're a young up-and-coming professional, or you're, I don't know, I'm just choosing a name that, if you're a Xander Schauffele, what do you care about trying to grow a business? What do you care about growing the game around the world? You want to win golf tournaments.
He's got the X app to worry about. He's not trying to.
You want to win golf tournaments. My 2 cents. And again, I just want to make something clear. I will never begrudge a player to going to LIV and taking generational money. I've said that throughout the entire thing. I have no problem with the players who went. Absolutely no problem. You get offered a bunch of money to do, but I'm just saying. That pitch is not the pitch that they think.
Compare what they're saying now to what they were saying 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Stark difference.
Difference.
This is what's going to grow the game and change it forever, and all these hyperbolic statements they were making 5 years ago. Yeah. Sorry. You're not going to trick us just because it's been a few years.
Yeah, so it does seem like they're going to go through the end of the year, which, kind of always seemed most likely because they can't just pull the plug on something like this. They have contracts with players through the year. They have contracts with venues through the year. They have contracts with vendors through the year. So they can't just pull the plug. But again, LIV finishes their season in August. They're not scheduled to start again until February. That's a lot of time for the lawyers to start doing lawyer stuff. All right, Chris, you ready to hop on? We're going to bring in Chris Fletcher, master distiller. Not just a distiller, a master distiller. So I'm a little familiar with what goes into being like a sommelier. Not as much so for a master distiller. How does one become a master distiller?
Man, that's a good question. I'm still trying to figure out how I pulled it off. Nobody really learns distilling. I know with sommelier stuff, there's lots of training and time that goes into that. And I would say time goes into being a distiller, but it's something that you really learn on the job. I grew up in Lynchburg, born and raised. My grandfather was also a distiller.
Hell yeah.
So that, growing up around a distillery, obviously when you're 4 or 5 years old, you don't know what whiskey is really.
Yeah, but then once you're 8, you start drinking.
Not long.
Just
not
kidding.
quite.
Just
not
kidding.
quite. But I went to college and studied chemistry, and really, growing up, Lynchburg's a wonderful little town to grow up in, and it's perfect for making whiskey, obviously, but it's a town of about 600 people, the city. And so most 18-year-olds, they're ready to leave a town of 600 people. And I was no different. Went to college studying chemistry, came home after my second year. My parents threatened me to get a summer job, and got lucky. I got a job at the distillery, and that's when I started to think, okay, chemistry and whiskey, let's see if I could put this together. And that's how it started.
So you mentioned, chemistry. It kind of reminded me of like golf greenskeepers. They study botany. They learn like the chemistry of it all. And there's a little bit of similarities between taking care of like a golf course and making whiskey. I feel like it's all in the details.
It is. Well, it's all natural. If you think about, a bottle of Jack Daniels, there's only a handful of ingredients. There's water, there's grain, and there's wood. That's it. So, if you think about it in that way, it's very agricultural, it's very natural. There's no added flavors or colors or sweeteners. And so we take, 80% corn, 12% malted barley, 8% rye. It's all coming into Lynchburg. We're grinding it up, cooking it in our cave spring water, fermenting it with our yeast, and then, of course, we distill that kind of beer mixture into whiskey to age in a barrel. So when you think about that, it's very much this creation of this natural thing that, eventually, gets into the bottle and shipped all over the world for people to enjoy and come together, and maybe on a golf course or wherever it may be.
Absolutely on a golf course. I think a golf course is an absolutely perfect place for it. So explain to me the difference between Gentleman Jack and the normal Jack Daniels bottle.
Absolutely. So, the one part that I skipped over in my little process talk there a second ago was charcoal mellowing. And charcoal mellowing is, a very, very old-fashioned way of making whiskey. And whiskey, when it's first distilled, is clear as water. It looks like vodka. There's way more flavor in it than vodka, but still, it looks that way. It's a clear spirit. So the color is going to come from the barrel. So what makes Tennessee whiskey different from, say, bourbon whiskey is we're going to take that new make spirit and filter it through a bed of charcoal. that we make at the distillery. So it's kind of like if you have a water filter at home. Inside that water filter is probably carbon, which is charcoal.
Beads.
Yeah, right. So that's going to take things out of the spirit that we don't want in there. Mostly corn oil, kind of heavy oily compounds that come from the fermentation process. Gentleman Jack gets twice that process, not just once that process. So Old Number 7 gets one pass through. Our single barrel products get one pass through. The only product that we make that gets double the filtration or double mellowing is Gentleman Jack.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for tomorrow. We're gonna get to tour the facility tomorrow. What are we gonna see? I feel like it's a pretty iconic place.
It is, man. It's as far as American distilleries go, it's just an amazing place. You're gonna get to walk right through the heart of the distillery where every single drop is made. You're gonna get to walk right by the cave spring where we pull our water out of, for every single drop. You'll see the charcoal mellowing process. You'll see that clear whiskey just dripping in drop by drop. It flows at about 1 gallon a minute because it takes a full 24 hours for that charcoal mellowing process to happen, right? So it's very intensive, very labor intensive, takes a lot of time to do, but that's the way my grandfather made whiskey back in the day. It's the way Mr. Jack would have made whiskey way back in his day, and that's why we do it still today.
What's that clear version of the whiskey taste like? You said there's flavor there still.
There is a lot of flavor, yeah. So there's a lot of organic compounds in whiskey. There's aldehydes, ketones, there's fusel oils, which are higher forms of alcohol. And so all that kind of has its own signature, flavor and aroma to the spirit itself. And then we want the barrel to complement that. So now you will certainly get a lot of kind of sweet, fruity notes on the new make spirit. A lot of people get like apple peel or apricot or even banana on Jack Daniels. And so that's really made by the yeast in the fermentation process. So that new make spirit, when it's clear, it is really, really kind of dominated with those fruity top notes.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I have a stupid question. I'm a dumb person. When I see proof on a bottle, I just divide by 2, and that's the alcohol content.
Right.
What are we doing with proof? Like, what is proof?
Yeah, why are we using a different number?
Why don't we just? Why do they need to show proof? Like, then I just have to do math that I don't want to do.
I know, man. I know. It's certainly the U.S. is really the only place in the world that uses proof.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Everywhere else I go, I was in Brazil back in March, and when I go to another country, I have to convert everything in my head over to alcohol by volume, which is what everything else is around the world. And you're right. The U.S. is kind of set up on proof, and one of the kind of standard measurements we use in distilleries is called a proof gallon, which is just 50% alcohol by volume. So it's a 100 proof gallon of whiskey. So if you can think, if that barrel was full, well, if it were in better shape, let's just say, when it was
we wouldn't put Gentleman Jack in that barrel.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. Maybe that one. But that would hold about 53 gallons by volume. But if the proof is over 100 proof, let's say it's 60%, which that's 120 proof, well, you're actually putting more gallons of whiskey in there than what the 53 gallons would suggest, because it's a higher concentration of alcohol than water. Mm-hmm. So that 100 proof, right, that 50% is kind of a way that we standardize measurement across the distillery. But yeah, you're right. It's confusing.
So I was going to say, I appreciate the explanation, but I'm not sold here.
Well, I'm not saying I'm sold either. That's people smarter than me in the government back in the day. The term proof, legend has it, came from, if we think about the origins of American whiskey, right? Basically, it all started as this clear new make spirit, moonshine, right? And so because a barrel was just a shipping container, American whiskey was not really aged for the first, several decades of its existence. But if you're buying a jug of clear new make, call it moonshine whiskey, how would you know that you're getting a certain percentage of alcohol or water, right? It could be watered down, which would have been lower quality back in the day. And so they would light it. They would pour a little bit on top of some gunpowder and strike a match to it. And if it immediately burned, and flamed, it was proof that you're getting alcohol.
How cool is that?
Well, you should have led with that. Now I get it.
That makes sense.
Right?
That's cool.
It's these guys selling shine out of holes in the ground, They're like, there's no labels on this thing.
Hey, I'm not going to say that that's the absolute fact, but that's sort of the legend. And I think most people would agree, that some version of that probably led to what
it was proof that it's good stuff
to be in the U.S.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate you hopping on. Do you know it's going to be named Jack Daniel? And my dad chickened out at the last second.
Really?
He really wanted to name me Jack, but then there was a death in the family, and so they had to kind of name me Daniel. And he really wanted to name me Jack Daniel, and he was like, well, I don't think that would have worked. I said that would have been the best name ever.
Imagine we would have been here right now.
Now I'm Daniel Harry. What a weak name, you know? Good stuff, Chris. I really
thanks for
appreciate
coming on,
it.
man.
Cheers,
We
guys.
appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. You can just put the mic down. You gonna readjust that camera, Alex? Okay. I'm excited for this one. I am excited for this one. We have the most, I'm going to say the most sicko dankings that we've ever had before. We did the pre-shot routine, we did the post-shot routine. This one, we are going to be ranking the most distinct walks of professional golfers. You see their silhouette coming down the fairway, you know exactly who it is. We're going to start with number 10, Brooks Koepka. It really should be Brooks Koepka when he's winning a golf tournament because it is a saunter. You know what a saunter means?
Swag.
His swagger walk, man.
Drippy.
He looks like he's winning golf tournaments. You can see it from miles away. Like there's the belt buckle's out, the arms are moving at a pretty normal rate.
No rush.
No rush. He's winning golf tournaments and he's doing it while he's traipsing around the golf course. Okay, number 9 is Jordan Spieth when he's gesticulating to Michael Greller.
He's having a conversation.
Oh my goodness, Michael. I just hit the equator. Michael, that's 2 perfect shots, one in the water, one over the green. Jordan Spieth is always moving around, and you can tell that it's Jordan Spieth when he's coming down the fairway because he's talking to Michael. He's pointing out something in the sponsor tent. He's talking about his golf club, how it's going like this. He's talking about how the ball flight kind of went like that, how the green breaks like this. Jordan is always talking to Michael, and you can always tell when it's him. Number 8, saw at the gala. Left shoulder above the right shoulder.
Oh, yeah?
Left shoulder above the right shoulder. He actually has scoliosis. So we've talked about this. Yeah, when I caddied for him when I was at Barstool for Side Gig, we talked about the scoliosis he has.
Oh, wow, I see
He's
it.
a big guy. You see it? Left shoulder above right shoulder. You can always tell when it's solid.
That's nasty you noticed. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's sicko shit. Number 7 is Gary Woodland. This guy leans back when he walks. It's the center of gravity is like, I feel like he's going to be falling backwards every time he walks.
Oh my God, look at this pimp.
Dude, look at the chest is so far out. The midsection is so far out. The posture, his shoulders are so far back.
He's puffing.
If you tried to hold your shoulders like that for a full day, Ben, your traps, your delts would be so fucking sore by the end, you would not be able to play golf. Gary Woodland. Gary Woodland comes in at number 7. Number 6, Keegan Bradley. The neck leads the way here. The neck leads the way. There's always a slight lean forward.
It's very ostrich.
It is very ostrich. There's an intensity to him when he walks. You know what I'm saying?
Flamingo.
He's always got the neck. There's not a lot of shoulder movement, not a lot of arm movement. The neck leads the way for Captain Keegan. At number 5, Adam Scott. This is how I imagine a royal would walk. It's so dignified.
This is the dignified.
It's like a model walk. Like if you had, I feel like if you had a book on his head, it would stay on his head. He never puts his head down. You can, if he's 4 over or 4 under, you can never tell. That's something Tom Watson always said. As soon as you put your head down, you start, your physiology bleeds into your psychology, right? It's like frowning makes you unhappy, smiling makes you happy. There's science to back that up. Adam Scott always like this, walking with his chest up, perfect posture.
The secret to longevity? Possibly.
Perfect posture. Number 4, Phil Mickelson. Smiling Phil with the thumbs up, just iconic. It's not just a thumbs up. It's like a little head down too with thumbs up. I miss Phil. Giving the thumbs up. You can always tell Phil's silhouette. There's usually a big crowd. He's always looking at the crowd and he's giving them the little thumbs up. Phil Mickelson comes in at number 4.
Enjoying being enjoyed. Not enough guys enjoying being enjoyed.
Looking
out
people
there.
in the eye. Arnold Palmer said, "You want to have a long career out here? Look people in the eye." And Phil Mickelson always does that. Number 3, Dustin Johnson. This is a strut. I would say this is almost like a little reptilian.
It's like a panther, yeah.
He's got a lot of the shoulders are going, the arms are moving big time.
Oh, it is like an iguana.
It's a little iguana-y, It's a little iguana-y. He struts down the fairway. It's an athletic looking walk. I don't think it's a stalk. I think it's more of a strut.
Okay.
I think it's more of a strut.
Yeah, we'll get a
strong number 3, Dustin Johnson. Number 2, Max Homa. Just not a lot of arm movement. Someone once said to me, you can't trust a guy who doesn't move his arm when he walks. I trust Max Homa, but he doesn't move his arms when he walks.
His hands are weighing him down.
The hands are like this. He's made fun of his own walk before. He doesn't move his arm when he walks. That's the Max Homa walk. You can always tell when it's him. And number 1, no surprise here, Rory McIlroy.
Bounce.
The bounce. We got more bounce in Northern Ireland. He's always bouncing. It's crazy. It's almost like you feel like he should have man boobs because they should be moving up and down, but he doesn't. He's built like Adonis.
Pecs are solid.
Pecs are solid, but there is a bounce with Rory McIlroy. It is the most distinct walk on the tour. What a Dankings. What an incredible Dankings. Most distinct walks. That's the most sicko shit we've ever done.
The sickest thing we've ever done.
We're out here analyzing walks. We need help.
We're going to get like nose sniffles next. Like,
we need help. Yeah, sniffles. The next Dankings will be how guys brush their teeth.
Accidental gestures.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move into Give Me a Winner. Our man Rick Gehman is traveling, but he has recorded this beautiful little video for us. I don't want to say little video. That's a little demeaning.
Big old video.
Here is Rick Gehman.
All right, the Zurich Classic this week is a unique event, a team event with alternating formats. So there's a lot to consider, but let's not overthink this. Let's just go for what is possibly the best team in the world right now. Matt Fitzpatrick and Alex Fitzpatrick. Just throw out even what Matt did last week. He had the runner-up finish at the Players. He had the win at the Valspar. And then Alex won himself on the Indian Open. That was a DP World Tour event. He played well at both stints in the South African swing. They are playing some of the best golf in the world, and now they're pairing up, obviously quite comfortable with each other, and they've played this event before. They are a formidable duo around TPC Louisiana this week. Then I'm going with some kind of more raw talent, but starting to get developed. Sam Stevens and Zach Boshu. Sam Stevens is fantastic. He's one of the better tee to green players that we have on the PGA Tour. He's gotten himself into a lot of the big time events, and it's just a matter of time before he breaks through. And while Zach's development has been a little bit slower, he has 4 top 28 finishes this year. He's got a great pedigree coming from the pipeline that is Oklahoma State, and putting these two guys together should be a really nice pairing where they can just rely on one another. They don't have to worry about playing their own ball the entire time. We're gradually getting more raw here. How about Ryan Gerard and David Ford? We'll start with David Ford, who's really peaked at the American Express this year. That's a birdie fest. You got to go out and make a bunch of them. He can certainly do that, but he's struggled in a lot of other events. Ryan Gerard got off to a really great start and has stalled out just a little bit. I think both of these guys just need a little bit of a format change, not be required to be responsible for their own ball the entire time, lean on each other just a little bit, but both with such immense talent that it doesn't even matter. I think they are very live for this week's Zurich Classic.
Thank you to Rick Gehman. He hit on Gary Woodland last week, so
yeah,
just trust Rick. We're going to hit a winner, another winner. We had a big winner, Cameron Young. That's kind of getting us through. We're in the positive. We're safely in the positive. Let's keep it going. Let's do Ask Dan. We're going to answer some of your questions. Yep. First one comes from Taylor Tolliver. Do you think we see any LIV players bail before season ends? No, I do not. I think they have pretty, like LIV is, you join LIV, you play the season, you play in every event. You don't have control of your schedule. That's part of the deal. You sign up for all of them. I think that is going to be the case.
Don't you think someone might want to start their year suspension right away just to get it over with?
But then they probably forfeit a lot of their guaranteed money. You know?
So it would have to be somebody it'd have to be Rahm or Neiman.
Well, you think to yourself, oh, wouldn't they offer the Rahm or the Bryce? But those guys have contracts. That's probably why they didn't take it in the first place.
Right.
Chris Riley, who's the best current player without a major? 2 names come to mind: Victor Hovland and Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah.
I'd probably take Victor's. Tommy's won obviously a lot in Europe. He's been incredible in the Ryder Cup. Victor Hovland's won a lot of PGA Tour events. He's been closer in majors, I would say, overall.
Champion.
I would say Victor Hovland. Tony Woolard, who ends up with a better career, Rory or Scotty? I feel like people are trending with Rory right now. Alan seemed to think Rory. Chris Powers on our show said Rory. I'm going with Scotty. You know, there was all this freak out when he had 3 tournaments where he didn't finish in the top 10. He finished in the top 25 in all of them, by the way. He's been 1 shot away in each of the last 2, and he's been so far behind after 36 holes. He's back. He's totally back. He finished 1 shot back at the Masters. He tied for the lowest score at the RBC Heritage. I feel like Scotty's going to win the United States Open. I still feel like he's got, he wins another major. It's 6'5". He's 7 years younger. So I think Scotty's going to end up with
7 years. A lot of time for a guy like that.
I think Scotty's got 9 or 10 majors in him.
Somebody on, I forget, I think it was Paul McGinley said he thinks Rory 9, Scotty 8, and I bought that. I think it's going to be Rory by 1.
Chris Powers said that on our show.
Oh, Chris said that on our show.
So you think Rory? I'm going to go with Scotty. I just feel like he's got more time, and I feel like he doesn't ride the roller coaster like Rory does.
7 years is a lot of time.
He doesn't ride the roller coaster like Rory does. I mean, look, he could go 7 years without a major. Rory went 11 years without a major. It could happen, but I feel like Scotty's just steady. Steady. Levi Ackerman, what about Arsenal crumbling, Dan? Generational head loss from Arsenal fans. Second again, ole ole. They're going to finish second. We're going to finish third. The famous Man United will both be in the Champions League. We'll both not have won a trophy this year, so it's fine with me. It's great. Zach, how juicy is the European Tour going to be? I think he's referencing the fact that if LIV folds, all these guys are going to have to go to the DP World Tour. So you're going to see Jon Rahm. He get back on the PGA Tour, you'd think, pretty soon. But you're going to see Tyrrell Hatton. You're going to see David Puig. You're going to see Josele Ballester. You're going to see Tom McKibben. You're going to see Joaquin Niemann. All these guys are going to have to go play on the European Tour, DP World Tour to get their status back. It's going to be an electric
Do you think when the older guys are going to do that? Like,
No.
do you see like Phil and Poulter out there?
No, they've got enough money. That's why they took this guaranteed payday at the end. Same Lee Westwood, same Paul Casey. I think those guys, they'll play senior events. But I think that they had this incredible bridge to the end of their career. It's one of the reasons why they went. The Pittsburgh high school kid, how close is Spieth? I'm not even going to answer this because I want to show the next one too, because the next one we have is from Doug Bax. Dan, is it time for a hard reset on Jay Spieth's game? New coach, caddy, mental, hasn't won in 4 years and rarely contends, normally a backdoor top 15-20. This is like two people looking at the sky and one saying it's red and one saying it's green. Like, is he close? I mean, he's not missing cuts every week.
Doesn't he hard reset like every hole pretty much?
Yeah,
Isn't that his game?
No, but I mean, there is something to be said about, he's a loyal guy. Most guys who have had a barren stretch after being where they were probably would go searching. Maybe a new coach, at least a new caddy. You're spending all that time, but Greller's been a huge part of his success, and I think Spieth is a loyal dude. So
he's got one really consequential rework left in him probably. Like if he did it, he's got one more to do it, and then
like a Mark Blackburn situation. Maybe go the Fitzy route. I would love to see it, but also I like his loyalty. I think it's part of what makes him such a good guy. Yip Strickler. Did God put Yip Strickler on this planet? I'm going to just read that again because he deserves a stumble-free read. Did God put Yip Strickler on this planet to protect the game of net golf? That's exactly why he put Yip Strickler on this planet. I do believe he did, yeah. We're about to play. I think there's probably going to be some net competition going on. I'll be sniffing around. I'll be on my Yip. I want to make sure straight to the gin.
I'm watching these guys warm up right now. I got all their putting styles locked in.
I played golf with my buddy Danny Wax this weekend, and he shot bogey-free 64, and I said, send me the screenshot of the gin, and he did. So Yip, you're having a downstream effect. Downstrum, wow, that was crazy. I wonder if that was like,
we're in God's country, man.
Downstream, I said, Downstrum asks, golf course nutrition, what do pros eat? I feel like it's a dumb but really important question. The Snickers and Glizzy at the term impacts your game, probably not for the better. It's really guy dependent. I mean, definitely more guys are very serious about their nutrition now, especially before the round. You'll see a lot of guys have like a pre-packed, whether it's a peanut butter and banana, I feel like is the most common thing you see out there. Some guys go for the sticks. I know Patrick Rogers, best player in the world. He does like basically a Slim Jim.
The chomps.
But you'll see a lot of peanut butter and bananas. But then you have guys like Tom Hoagie, and I remember James Colgan wrote the story where Tom Hoagie was bitching about at the players that the player dining was too healthy. He's like, I just want a fucking cheeseburger. So it's player dependent, but it's definitely trending more in the, you want high carbs, you want energy. These guys are spending a lot of time out there, a lot of time in the sun. And it's not just the 4.5 hours that they're playing. It's the warm-up. It's the media after, so they want to stay.
I want to see more whole-ass bananas out there. People are putting them in bags or cutting them up and stuff. Just hold it with the peel coming over your hand.
You want to see
a banana walk down.
You want to see a real banana.
More of that.
Birdie C asked, do you think the internationals stand a chance at this year's President's Cup? No. I looked at the top 12 on Data Golf of eligible players, so not including the LIV guys, because LIV has decimated the international talent pool. Here are the top 12 Americans in the Data Golf ranking: Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Cameron Young, Russell Henley, Colin Morikawa, Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Maverick McNeely, Harris English, Jake Knapp, Jacob Bridgman, Chris Gotterup. Squad. Here are the top 12 internationals: Siwoo Kim leading the line, Adam Scott, Minwoo Lee, Jaden Shaper, plays on the DP World Tour, he's won a couple times, Corey Connors, Ryo Hisatsune, Christian Bezadenhout, Ryan Fox, Sudarshan Yelamaraju, Taylor Pendrith, Haotong Lee, and Rico Hoey.
A fun-ass team. A lot of good vibes, but after the third person, you started getting into...
The President's Cup is... I'm rooting for it. But the Americans have lost once. It's at home this year at Medina in Chicago. And, no Neiman, no Elvis Smiley, no Cameron Smith. It's an uphill battle.
What can be done?
They could drop you have to be a PGA Tour member, but I don't think they're going to. Cam Gordon asks, what's the deal with Michael Lasasso? Finishes near last every week on LIV, signed on to play with Phil, who's been absent most events. Well, Phil, he couldn't have known that was going to happen. What's the deal? He's a rich boy.
Yeah.
He's a rich boy. It's not. He also, I think he finished like 10th or 11th in one of them. But that's part of the risk that you take when you go to LIV, is that, and I was texting with a player, and this, we all knew this could happen. This is part of the reason why they had to overpay, is because you're taking a risk. If it wasn't a risk, they wouldn't have to overpay.
That's just economics, baby.
Correct. Dallas Boss Hog asks, can you name one player that would trade their US Am victory for a Players Championship? It should be a major, not the Players. Sure. Andy Ogletree, Ben On, Sam Bennett, Curtis Luck, Doc Redmond, Tyler Strafacci, Gun Yang. Do I need to continue?
Great.
That's a crazy one. Yeah, I mean, maybe 30 years ago.
Several.
Yeah, the game has changed. All right, Ben, time for Zone Dog Race.
You ready for the dog race?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, you're full of segues today. We were just talking about something that is in the dog race.
Okay.
A little different.
Good segue.
Yeah, I didn't do the best segue.
Not your best.
I'm going to give you a list of things, and I want you to pick one to go away forever.
Oh!
If you pick it,
to shrink, to eradicate,
shrink,
to nuke.
What are you going to nuke?
Okay.
And the first battle is going to be playing through / eye on the course versus funnel pins on tour. I'm thinking about, I don't know, the 16th hole at Augusta National.
It's a funnel.
No more funnel pins, or no more playing through?
No, I'm okay with the odd funnel pin. Third to last hole at the Masters. I'm not sure I'm with it on Sunday. Get rid of playing through.
Okay.
Get rid of playing through.
All right.
Charge me $2 extra so I don't have to watch commercials.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Okay. Getting rid of playing through, or Memphis in August?
Memphis in August. And I'm not alone in this. The tour's getting rid of Memphis in August. I feel vindicated by this. I have had a very strict no Memphis in August policy. We're actually not that far from Memphis. We're in Tennessee. It's April. You got a golf tournament in Memphis in April, I'd be there.
Yeah,
I'd be having a great time. It's beautiful weather out here. It's Memphis in August, but we're getting it out, and Brian Rolap agrees.
Okay. Memphis in August, or this is what we were talking about, the President's Cup.
That's mean. Memphis in August. I don't want to get rid of the President's Cup. I just want it to be more competitive.
Okay.
That was mean. That was a low blow.
Memphis in August, or post-professional amateurs?
Post-professional amateurs. I mean, it's
Save the Am.
Yeah, the U.S. Mid-Am is the failed former Tour Pro Open. 6 of the 8 quarterfinalists reinstated pros. Bobby Jones is rolling over in his grave.
You can't see this, but the picture is W and Hegseth just laughing about this travesty.
Yeah, W and Hegseth?
Yeah, isn't that who that is?
No, Hagestad.
Hagestad.
Hegseth is the Secretary of War.
Oh.
That's a crazy
Well, they would be together, maybe.
And people are going to say, oh, well, Hagestad's a pro, or he doesn't have a job. Totally different. You can't legislate against people, having the circumstances that they're born into. There's a clear line staring us straight in the face here, and the clear line is once you turn pro, you don't go back. I will die on that take. Get rid of
Ams or broomstick putters. I know you don't hate the putter, but getting rid of it would.
No, I hate that when you can't see daylight.
Yeah.
But the broomstick itself, it doesn't really bother me. It does bother me. I don't know why I said that, but I'm still getting rid of the post-pro AMs. For me, with the broomstick, it's more about I want to see some daylight. Give me this Vils Alturas grip. Give me the Adam Scott grip.
All right, post-pro AMs or LIV Golf?
You're putting me on the spot here. I'll say post-pro AMs, and I'm not speaking further on that.
Okay. Post-pro AMs or all the secret pace of play data that we don't get from PGA Tour?
Well, no, I don't want that gone. I want that publicized.
That's what I'm saying. It would no longer be secret.
Yeah, release the data.
Secret.
Release the data. I'm a big release the data guy. Files are in the news all the time. These days, I want the files to go public.
I want the files.
Release the damn data.
All right,
name names. It's the only thing that's going to. Well, not the only thing to change. What would change it would be stroke penalties, but what would also change it would be name names.
Name names. Release the data, or eliminate media after every round at a major. So the fact that they have to
name names. I mean, I said I don't think anything really valuable comes from it. That's just my commentary. I understand. I don't want to put people out of jobs.
Okay.
But I'm just saying I don't think anything comes from it, and I understand why guys are guarded. But I'm not trying to come be out here and telling people that they can't write stories every day. I would like that to maybe change in some way. Maybe give them 30 minutes or something like that. But no, I'm going to
release the data.
I'm going to stick with release the data.
Okay, we've set up quite a battle here for the final battle. Release the data, or rid ourselves of this a moment ago.
This a moment ago. I have to be a man of principle.
Yeah.
It's a malignant tumor on the body of the broadcast.
It's been your number one bugaboo.
It's been I have a lot of bugaboos, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely top 3. That was a great one. That was a great zone dog race. Probably I would say maybe your best yet.
You know what? Post-pro amateurs survived.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to kill a lot of things.
Yeah. That was tough, yeah.
That was tough. That was a really good one. Well done.
Thank you.
Our dog of the week is a repeat winner.
First time, probably.
Is it the first? I think it's probably the first back-to-back repeat winner. Colin Morikawa, once again. Top 10 at the Masters with that all-arms golf swing. Top 10, top 5, tied for 4th.
We'll give it to him next week. He does it again.
At the RBC Heritage. I was texting with him early this week, and I said, I got to think you're feeling better. You're playing. You'd think you'd take time off the Masters. He's like, not really, no. I'm just kind of swinging it around. I said, oh, well, you definitely can't make it worse. He's like, I hope not. But listen, the guy is out there finishing top 10, and we're not talking about ho-dunk events. We're talking about the Masters and a signature event, and he spoke about the pride he takes and how much of a battle it's been after his round on Sunday, because it was on Sunday, so he gives, he's got time to reflect. Here's Colin Morikawa.
I'm happy these last 2 weeks are done. It's been a grind. The 2 weeks of golf have felt like a full years of golf, just grinding through it, playing, and but it was nice. I think I learned a lot about myself. Mentally, I was pretty strong throughout the last 2 weeks. And there's something to take from not having the full health of being able to swing a club, but kind of working with what you have. And I think I did a pretty good job so far. Wish I had the last one back, but overall, hopefully a couple top 10s to finish the week.
And people saying, oh, why is he playing? Why is he playing? Because he just paid for like a new wing of his house with the last 2 weeks.
And he can.
Yeah.
Sorry he's that good.
He's that guy. He's going to take this week off, and I imagine he'll be back for the signature event, double signature event, and then a major championship coming up. Chirps from the gallery. Great week from the gallery. Spieth, again, I feel like the screenshot golfer thing, I don't know if we started it. I don't know if we might have seen it. So there's a screenshot every fucking week. Jordan Spieth trying to figure out who could have done this. And it's not just a screenshot of a guy reading a putt. He's like picking up a wild animal. You know what I mean?
It's a great tweet,
too. He's like pulling up a compass. It's like, what the? Can we just
What did you say yesterday? He's turning over a tortoise.
I said he's picking up a tortoise. And it's like, what is going on? Can we just hit the ball in grass and then go hit it from grass to more grass, and then we move on? It's incredible. It's every week, and it's like Thursday now most weeks.
I love the comment though. He's trying to find out who did this
How
with his hand on his hip.
How the hell could this ball have gotten here? This is a pro move. Last year we talked about aim pointing in the wild. I love this. Marking your seat on the couch, and that couch, by the way, that is the most frat house couch I've ever seen.
Big time.
That has been passed down from pledge class to pledge class for 10 years. It smells like ass. There's vodka stains. There might be a rodent living underneath it. But when you get up to watch TV to go to the bathroom, you mark it with you mark it with your marker, and it's yours. It's a proper marker.
I can't believe we've been playing golf our entire lives and never thought of this. All the shotguns or no takesies or whatever, say don't steal my seat.
Yeah, savesies.
We had this all along.
All along. I think
golfers.
we just need to start traveling around with a marker in our pocket. This was funny. LIV Golf, they went from 54 holes to 72 holes, and someone said that Len Hawkbird said they're changing their format from 72 holes to 0 holes.
That was my favorite tweet.
Very funny. Not true, though. Not true. They're still around. The Returning Sluggers program. There's a lot of talk about the players coming back. Bradley Romine's waiting for the announcement of the Returning Slugger White program. I'd love to see him back. That mustache is a Just for Men ad. It is so vibrant. Slugger, man. What a character he was on tour.
It's vibrant.
He was the king of, he was a gentleman. They would always ask him, what was the rule situation like? And he'd be like, he was a perfect gentleman. He was a perfect gentleman. The good guys tour. Jon Rahm winning Adelaide next year. They used the Xander Schauffele. That's us. That's Pro Shop. We did that.
Hell yeah.
That was a good. I wonder whose idea it was to go for the 0.00. You think that was?
I don't know, but
idea?
that was one of my favorite moments of the entire week.
Xander Schauffele, that's going to be like in 40 years, and Xander Schauffele's playing on the 40 years. He's probably not playing on the senior tour. Maybe he's still playing on the senior tour.
I think they might have. Did they auction off that check too and give the money to charity or something?
It's a phenomenal picture that will stand the test of time. And then the difference a week makes. We had the Masters. We had nobody on their phones watching, and then Kyle Porter pointed this out. I think it was Scotty. Yeah. What are you guys doing?
Oh, we commented on this live.
What are you guys doing? Put the phones down. There's going to be a video that's way better than this on Instagram.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you're going to show, you're going to be like,
Scratch.
hey, look at how close I was to Scotty. You could take a quick photo, right? See just how close you were to Scotty.
That's why we're here.
And put it in the pocket and enjoy your life. Before we leave you, we're going to talk about Zone. Warning, this product contains nicotine. I got one right here. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale prohibited. When you play golf, the competition can get pretty heated. I'm excited for today. It's going to get heated out there. The same goes for the all-new flavor of Zone nicotine pouches. They got jalapeno lime. It's crazy. It's vibrant. It's a burst of citrus meets a subtle fiery kick. Each pouch is a premium nicotine experience with intensity and flavor that lasts. Now available in 6 and 9 milligrams. Do you want Zone pouches at a discount mailed right to your door? Get 20% off at nicokick.com/zone, NICOKICK.com/zone when you use promo code DANONGolf20, promo code DANONGolf20. Programming note, we'll be back on Wednesday as normal. We're not doing a watch along this weekend. I only do watch along for individual tournaments. That's a rule that I just came up with. I'm going away, and we got a lot of big tournaments coming up, so no watch along this weekend, but we'll be back on Wednesday for the show. We'll be back on Monday for the show. We're going to have a great time here at Manors, Gentleman Jack. We're at Sweetens Cove. What a place. We're going to leave you with our clip of the week. It's Gary Woodland with the draw cut. We love a draw cut, and I love all of you guys. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
204 yards away.
3 over on this round. No birdies.
Look at this laser. He's got eyes. Right at it. Are you kidding? You said no birdies.
How incredible was this shot from 204 back into that strong wind? Throw that shot in the hat for shot of the year.
That shot, the eagle, moves Gary into the top 10